Hey, it's Mr. Johns, and you know you're such a driver's ed dork when you're mowing the lawn and you realize you use reference points to keep your lawnmower in a straight line. Now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm a driver's ed teacher, been a driver's ed teacher for a long, long time, and it's just part of my thought process now. In fact, I keep a webcam, a car cam, in my car in case I see something interesting or educational. So, that's me. Quite the driver's ed nerd, I should say. So I'm mowing the lawn, and I take great pride in the fact that, A, my lawn looks nice most of the time. B, my lines are straight. Now, I've been mowing lawns since I was a little kid, but also as I get older, I worked for a golf course in the lawn maintenance department, mowing, trimming, things like that, and they taught me a lot about lawn maintenance. It wasn't necessarily about straight lines, but your lines had to be straight on a golf course. Like, people would complain. So they expected high quality, perfect lines, right? So they kind of taught me how to do that. And then later on I owned a lawn mowing company with my son. So I've done this, right? But today, this is like 10 minutes ago, I'm mowing the lawn, and I look down, I'm like, yeah, my lines are pretty straight. I'm doing my normal thing. Anytime it's not straight, I correct it so the next line is straight. And then I realize what I'm using is, if you look down here, I'm using what's called a reference point. And so if you look at the right here, I don't know if you can see where my mouse is. You probably can't. But to the right of that left wheel, there is a plastic part of the lawnmower that sticks out, and on the other side, that's the part where you can adjust the height of the lawnmower. On this side, it's just like a spacer between the blade, well, the front axle and the wheels and things like that. So, but I have always used, and this is not rocket science. I mentioned this to my wife, and she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well." The difference is I connected it to driver's ed, right? And that's where probably most people wouldn't. But to keep a straight line, I make sure that this part of that mower follows the previous wheel line. And so I get a little bit of overlap so I'm not missing. And see, the blade is actually wider than where I am mowing, so there's a little bit of overlap. I'm not missing any grass, and also if I have a straight line in the previous line, then okay, yeah, you get the point, right? So reference point. And I was thinking that for those of you who have a hard time with reference points, because when we bring this up in driver's ed, I know a lot of you are like, what? I don't get it. So, and I know, right? It's something you've never thought about. So on the street, so you can see I've got that yellow. I'm in Forza Horizon 5, my favorite racing game, by the way. You can see that here's a curve, a yellow line with some bumps on it. Over here on the right side is the white line, right? Also known as the fog line. But that's my lane is in between the white and the yellow, and I need to learn and know. Sorry, I have a joystick. I have a PlayStation joystick. So, yeah. If you're jerking like that, and I'm your driver's ed teacher, I'm going to be a little bit worried. My whole point. I wish I had a steering wheel, but I could be more accurate. My whole point here is reference points. Now I'm going to take a look here. There's two ways. Am I in the middle of the lane? Well. So question number one is, am I in the middle of the lane? Well, no. Am I okay? Am I legal? Yes, I am not. I am a little bit far to the left. So we would rather be a little bit centered like that in the lane. All right. So sometimes in driver's ed, we actually, like, students don't get this right a lot. You think you're in the middle of the lane. We know you're not. We stop. We turn off the car, get out, and we look, and your car might be way over to the left or the right, and you're like, whoa, I thought I was in the middle. So that is one thing you have to learn. Every car is different, and every person's different. If you're short, if you're tall, reference points are different. So maybe with a lawnmower, it's consistent because that it doesn't really matter. You're looking straight down at that piece. But in a car, if I'm sitting down, shorter, it's going to change those reference points. If I'm taller, it's going to change those reference points. And so all we can do is tell you what a reference point is. Now, I'm looking, I know my car is in the middle of the lane now, right? Because we got out and we looked, okay? Pretty much centered. So in the car, what can I use? Well, a reference point would be something inside the car or perhaps on the hood or something outside the car. We use outside mirrors a lot for pulling up to a white stop line, for example. But in this case, let's just talk about reference points to make sure you're in the middle of the lane. So it looks like the crack, the gap, or the angle, let's say that, the angle here, the corner between my lower left windshield and my dashboard, it looks like it's lined up pretty well with that. I mean, it's only a brick in this game. That would normally be a line, I would assume. But if I keep my car kind of where that line is really close to this corner, that tells me, chances are, I'm in the middle of my lane. Now over here on the right side, it looks like my windshield wiper, whatever this little clip is right here, this part of the windshield wiper. Now, windshield wipers go up, windshield wipers go down, so keep that in mind as well. But with my windshield wiper down, it looks like I could use like this clip, especially that black part of the clip, but probably this whole area where this windshield wiper connects. If I line it up to that cement line over there, and I keep it somewhat there, again, I apologize for my PS4 joystick, but you can see that, yeah, that's terrible. I don't play in this view, I play in third-person view. But if I keep those two reference points, let's just go check. I should still be in the middle of my lane, and sure enough, it works. So that's just kind of a quick reminder, overview, something that might help you with reference points. Now notice that my, I can either use the left reference point that I talked about or the right reference points. I can use both, and don't worry about it being perfect. It just tells me if I'm way over here, I am probably not centered, right? And if I'm let's get my right, there we go. And if I'm way over here, I'm probably not centered, right? So, and sure enough, I'm not. But if I just go, hey, watch out. Okay, come on now. If I just put those two reference points back where I want them, roughly here, that puts me center. So that's what a reference point is, and it just occurred to me as I was mowing my lawn that's maybe a good way to think of it, like something like that. A part of your machine lined up with something else on the outside can help you know where your car is in a lane, where a stop line is. It also helps when you're turning and going around a corner. Just the concept of a reference point sometimes is confusing, and I hope this visual example helps. So, just another little driver's ed tidbit from Mr. Johns. Have a great day. For now, Mr. Johns is